hello everybody, and thank you very much for participating in our pilot episode of the Emotional Awareness Hour. Part of today, as you will all know, is that this is a trial and we are wanting to check out how this works, how the technology works, and we would like to obviously welcome everybody. Thank you so much for participating. It's a great opportunity. We really would like feedback afterwards, so if you could do that, that would be absolutely awesome. So, for anyone that doesn't know me, I am Jenny Florence. I'm the author and creator of the A to Z Emotional Health online audio and video library. It's about to become a video library as well, and it will soon be a free public resource. And so the Emotional Awareness Hour is part of that. I'm here with my very dear friend and colleague, Libby Alderson. Would you like to say hi?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
So Lib is here to keep me on track, to keep an eye on the live chat box so that she can monitor any questions that are coming in and kind of feed into our conversation. So bear with me while I also am looking at my screen and making sure I have everything in place that I need. Now, I thought I would just introduce the Emotional Awareness Hour, as this is our very first live event. My aim and my purpose in creating this is really to try and create a space where conversations about emotions can take place, where we can develop understanding, people can raise issues or difficulties, and we can, as I said, open a space for conversation. So much about emotional health is still attached to stigma and difficulty, and the more that we talk about these things, the more that we bring things out into the open, and the more we can actually look at the way problems can be dealt with. We can help people and support them in any ways that we can. So I think part of the purpose of this event is to create an opportunity to tackle some potentially challenging issues as well as everyday issues on a monthly basis. I think it's fair comment to say that at some point in all of our lives we're going to face some emotionally challenging situations just because we're normal people. And most of us, I mean, if we take bereavement as a very good example, we are all at some time or another going to experience some very challenging emotions, and we may or may not be particularly well equipped to deal with that. I think most people don't have a particularly fluent emotional language. I've been listening to people for 26, nearly 27 years now, and regardless of whether someone has come to see me therapeutically with what would be labelled a mental health problem, or whether they're going through what I would consider to be an everyday, really stressful situation in their life, the one common denominator is that they don't know how to manage their emotions. We talk about mental health, and we talk about physical health, of course. I actually think emotional health underpins both. You know, we use that term mental health. Actually, when we use the term, we're generally talking about mental unhealth. I think, you know, we all have mental health, and it's kind of, I think we tend to have a perception of a mental health label as being somebody who has a problem. In reality, we all have mental health. It's just that sometimes we're feeling good and sometimes we're not. And most of the time when we're talking about mental health, we're not just talking about our mind, we're talking about the way that we feel. So I would consider emotional health to be something that we really need to bring much more into the public domain as a term. It was really interesting. I wrote an article for the Huffington Post, and I wrote a blog, and it had a huge following, and it was called What is Emotional Health? And the article was actually sparked because I was talking to a psychotherapist who actually said to me, I don't know what you mean by emotional health. And I was actually quite shocked that somebody in my profession didn't know what I meant, but he just wasn't familiar with that terminology. But I do think emotional health is different to mental health. You know, we're not talking about any kind of diagnosis. We're talking about really the way that we feel and how to manage our emotions and how to manage them better. I think it's fair comment as well to say that our physical health is also underpinned by our emotional health. I was listening to a brilliant talk by Christiane Northrup. She's an American doctor. If you haven't come across her, she's really worth the nodding Lib. Yeah. She's really, really worth, I know Lib has listened to her talks as well. She's really, really worth connecting up to, and we'll maybe see if we can find that link. Yes. Lib, one of the things I will do, just sort of add this at the moment, is if I make a reference during an emotional awareness hour to somebody or to a resource or to something that I have found particularly helpful, I will, within a few days after the event, actually send out an email to everybody with a link or a connection so that you can find that resource. And in this particular audio that I listened to, she quoted an experiment. And in this experiment, they took a group of people and they showed them a series of films. Before they showed them the films, they measured their immune systems. And apparently, which I didn't know, you can measure your immune system through your saliva. So I didn't know that, but apparently you can. So they measured everybody's immune systems. And then they showed them a series of films. And the first film was about gardening. And everybody's immune systems pretty much stayed the same. I think her conclusion was that there were no passionate gardeners in the audience. But they then showed some really moving footage of Mother Teresa's work. And everybody's immune systems rocketed. They went up. So that was really, really interesting. And they then showed them some footage of war. And it was real footage. It was really, really challenging, really traumatizing, I would imagine, to watch. And everybody's immune systems plummeted. And I mean, we're not talking about a state of mind. We're talking about the way that we feel. This is an immediate and very, very direct evidencing, I suppose, of the way that our emotions have an impact on our physical health. And I would suggest on our mental health too. If you'd seen those films, I would imagine you might have actually felt pretty positive or pretty negative, depending on what you were looking at. So I think emotional health is actually pretty important. If we, as I said, we're not just talking about a state of mind. We're not just talking about thoughts in a logical way. We're talking about the way that our thoughts interact with our feelings and the way that our physical body also then responds to those emotions. I guess it's also a useful thing to point out that there's a really direct relationship between the way that we think and the way that we feel. So I think if you are in if you're in a emotionally challenging situation, you are far more likely to perceive the world from a negative perception. Your thoughts are far more likely to be negative, to be despondent. And likewise, if you are actually in a despondent frame of mind, your feelings will be affected and they will also be very low. So there is a really direct relationship between the way that we think and the way that we feel. So as I said, I think emotional health is something we really need to bring to the fore. And so part of this endeavour, as well as the A to Z of Emotional Health Library, is really to try and give emotional health a much more public face, as well as to, in a really hands-on way, actually help people. Before this event, I was actually thinking if I were to create a mission statement for this emotional awareness hour, I think my mission statement or my desire, I actually wrote some of these things down. I think firstly it would be to try and create an awareness of the importance of emotional health. I think the second part of that mission statement would be to try and shift the perception of emotions as being, positive or negative, to shift our perception of seeing them in such black and white terms. I would use bereavement as a very classic example of this. If you experience a really, really huge loss, it doesn't mean that you're just experiencing then negative emotions. You know, it doesn't mean that what you're feeling is bad. Actually, what you're feeling are challenging emotions, that's for sure. But they're very, very appropriate emotions. You know, there's nothing inappropriate or bad about them. And yet, emotions such as sadness, anger, distress, anxiety, all of which you might feel in the process of bereavement, they're a really healthy response to what's going on. You know, they're not bad, and yet they would generally be seen as negative emotions. So I'd really like to shift our perception of the way that we see and label emotions, because I think emotions are seen as I said, good, bad, positive, negative, black and white, and they're really not like that. Likewise, I think if you experience a particularly unhealthy situation and you experience challenging emotions, your emotions are actually quite good information. It's a natural response to feel challenging emotions if you're in an unhealthy situation. It's not your emotions that are bad or unhealthy. It's actually the situation that you're in, and your emotions are giving you information about that situation. If you listen to those emotions, the chances are you can begin to evaluate how to address your own personal needs. Your emotions are going to help with that. I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. So back to my mission statement in bringing emotional health to the fore. I guess I would really like to, as I said, shift the black and whiteness and move our perception of emotions to what I would call a real place, where we actually begin to recognise that everything we feel has a purpose and a value, even our most challenging emotions. And I would like us in the emotional awareness hour to create a space where all of those things can be discussed, but without stigma and without judgment, and without all the inner criticism that tends to happen when we feel things that are challenging. And again, add to that, I'd really like to help people understand their emotions, or how to use their emotions as an asset rather than a disability. Because I think when we are emotionally challenged, we can feel really thrown off course by those feelings. But actually, if we begin to listen to those emotions, we can use them as information. Again, if we're feeling something that's challenging, it's generally letting us know something. And if we listen to that and we become responsive to that, that really helps us to navigate life in a far more successful way. If we try and live life from a purely logical place, we're really missing an awful lot of valuable information that our emotions bring. I've met lots of people who have struggled in relationships with relationship issues, and they're often trying to approach things from a very logical perspective, and they're ignoring the way that they're feeling. And I'm going to say they do so at their peril, actually, because those emotions really come back up and cause them huge, huge problems. It's actually reminded me, I've got a lovely quote, which I'm just going to grab, because it's a really nice, it seems quite appropriate to voice it. It's by somebody called Doc Childry, or two people, Doc Childry and Deborah Rosman, who have written the book. And they said, if you don't manage your emotions, then your emotions will manage you. And I think that's a very concise thing. I will get and find that link and put that into an email afterwards for anyone who wants to check that out. So that's my kind of mission statement. Back to the intentions and hoping what we're hoping to achieve. We'd really like this to be a space where learning can take place, where recognising challenging emotions, we see them as normal, and where people can, as I said, ask questions without stigma and without fear. And from that really develop a genuinely healthy understanding of their emotions and develop that core emotional language. I think when we develop an emotional language, we can arrive at a place where our mind can work with our emotions rather than sort of them operating separately. It's like developing a collaborative relationship within ourselves where our mind listens to our emotions. You know, if we find ourselves in a really challenging situation and we understand why we're feeling the way we're feeling, it's highly likely that those emotions will, okay, they may be challenging, but they will kind of remain at the same intensity. When we don't understand the way that we're feeling, we tend to become fearful of the way that we're feeling. And the moment we start to be frightened of our feelings, we're kind of adding an extra emotional package. So effectively, we're kind of doubling the load, really. It's a bit like if, I don't know, I was talking to somebody the other day who had struggled with severe panic attacks for a proportion of their life. And they had actually got to a point where they'd really started to manage these emotions, and these panic attacks were very rare for them, which was brilliant, and they were really having quite a thriving life. But the moment they felt the slightest little twinge of anxiety, their fear of this happening again would rocket. And so in a way, what they were doing in coming to see me was trying to work out how to kind of not turn the volume up, but to sort of maintain something of their equilibrium every time they felt anxiety. And they were actually at a very key point in life, and they were embarking on all kinds of really new and exciting ventures, a new job, a new relationship, all kinds of really fabulous stuff was happening. But those kind of fabulous things do actually raise anxiety because they're new situations. But the moment they felt anxiety, they were so frightened of feeling that they started to almost panic about it, and they were panicking about panicking. So the first port of call with them was really to start to develop ways of not doing that, of not doubling the load, of just recognising that what they were feeling was normal, and it didn't mean that they were going to go backwards. And so it's really, really common, I think, people are frightened of their feelings, and so we need to kind of normalise our emotions and learn to listen to them. The moment we listen, and the moment we understand that whatever we're feeling, it's generally, even if it's challenging, it's a normal response to something that actually maybe is just very challenging, then at the very least our emotions will stay the same, and we can certainly stop them from rocketing. So it puts us back in the driving seat because things don't run away with us. So again, I hope that we can kind of make a space where that is possible. People can raise certain issues. So the kinds of things that we're going to talk about, I think they'll vary from month to month. When we start to schedule this on a monthly basis, I think we may have a week when we talk about an individual specific emotion. We may spend a week talking about anxiety or anger or any kind of sadness, any emotions. We might have a week where we talk specifically about bereavement. We might talk about parenting. We might talk about relationships. I think when I talk about relationships, I don't necessarily just mean intimate relationships, maybe family relationships, maybe friendships, working relationships, because relationships are, again, about the way that we feel. It's not just a logical affair. The way that we relate is all about the way that we feel. And if we can't gauge our own feelings, we're very unlikely to also be able to gauge other people's. So again, emotional health underpins our relationships. So all of these things can be discussed. What we're hoping to do is to invite input in advance of sessions so that we can focus on the most commonly asked questions. Excuse me, I'll just grab a glass of water. We can focus on the most commonly raised issues and again look at those and invite live interaction with people as well. So actually the other thing that we may also do, there are various kind of international and national days. So for example, there's Suicide Prevention Day, Suicide Awareness Day, there's National Adoption Week. We may actually choose a theme around those times that might be relevant, and again we'll invite questions ahead of time. I know one of the issues that I think has been raised about doing a live event on YouTube is that if you decide to interact with us, it's quite difficult to do that in an anonymous way. So, and I guess if we're talking about something like suicide awareness, that could be pretty challenging. So there will be a facility, we'll send a link out with the email ahead of time, so that people can actually send in questions ahead of time. So hopefully we can begin to address some of those issues that are raised without necessarily putting you in a place where you feel exposed in any way. I think that's pretty important if you're feeling vulnerable emotionally. On the other hand, by being very live about this, I would like to think that we are presenting people with an opportunity to remove some of the stigma. Because, you know, if we kind of embrace the fact that it's okay to talk about things and that we can have an ownership of that, I would like to think in a way that maybe people would feel brave enough to step up and talk about things personally. So, but I think it has to be a question of choice. It's really, really important. Now, thinking about that ahead of time, I have actually been given some questions by a couple of people who sort of said that these are the kind of issues that I would like to be asking. So we thought it would be, you know, quite good to open the arena today by actually talking about some real life issues that people may be struggling with. I had an email from somebody called Samantha. I believe that is actually her real name, so thank you, Samantha, for your input in this. Now, she is actually in her early 40s. She's got young children, and she has suffered a series of bereavements. By a series of bereavements, she didn't state in the email how many, but I know that she has lost several family members and several friends, all within a very short space of time, within the space of 1 year. And she has said she is really overwhelmed and completely unable to get back to what she would call normal. And that was her language. She's suffering from extreme anxiety and is really, really struggling to just even to manage her everyday world. I mean, the first thing that I kind of really wanted to say was obviously thank you for raising this as an area that you want to talk about, and also really to say my heart goes out to you, because I actually know exactly what it's like to lose lots of people. I lost several people in 1 year myself, and I really do know that's a real challenge, because I think when you lose a significant number of people, there's not time to really grieve for the first one before, you know, the next one comes along. And losses are accumulative. If we haven't been able to process one particular loss, I think the next one kind of stacks up. It's part and parcel of what happens in bereavement. Now, something that I don't know, in a way I don't have all of the information from Samantha, but so I don't know how those bereavements took place or the nature of them. But actually losing people is really traumatic. And it strikes me that if you are really, really struggling with high anxiety, you may actually be kind of caught up in the impact of trauma and not just in the impact of loss and bereavement. When we first lose somebody, that we go into shock. That's actually a traumatic space to be. And if you experience shock after shock after shock, I think you move into a place of real high alert. You know, part of trauma is that the volume control on our high alert system moves. It's like the difference. I use the analogy of the volume control. It's like the difference between a little transistor radio or the sound system at Wembley. If you experience enough trauma, your high alert system will move to the equivalent of the sound system in Wembley. And what that means is the moment you're in a high alert state, you're going to be really, really acutely sensitive to everything. And so any kind of normal everyday activities that you might engage in that wouldn't normally faze you at all will probably throw you. So I just want to kind of normalise the fact that if you're experiencing a huge amount of anxiety, if you've experienced several bereavements in a row, I would consider that to be an appropriate response to a kind of it's like having a normal response to an abnormal situation, because most of the time we don't experience tons of losses in one go. It's challenging enough to experience one, let alone several. And so I'd actually want to talk to you about primarily recovery from trauma and what you can actually do to cope with that. And that actually took me, when I was reading through questions that had been sent in prior to this, it took me to, well, that's a completely different scenario. It took me to somebody else's situation, because I also thought trauma was relevant there. So I'm going to voice it and then talk a little bit about how we can maybe, what we can actually, in a pragmatic way, do to try and address something of the self-care element of recovery from trauma. So I actually had an email from somebody called Trevor, and he hasn't said what illness he suffers with, but he has been diagnosed with a lifelong condition. And he said that he had a dip at the beginning of his diagnosis, but he actually thought that he was okay. He felt that he was managing everything, but he has recently put onto ongoing medication, and he just said he's had a complete crisis and a real meltdown. Again, really high anxiety, but he doesn't really understand why. Why now? Because he's been managing this illness for a long time, and he felt that he was in a pretty positive frame of mind and he was okay with this, and his emotions have rocketed, and he's really struggling. And it kind of connected me. It made me think about the trauma of, if we think about trauma as being the result of things that are out of our control. So when we're traumatized, something has happened, so multiple losses, for example. Likewise, actually, if you are diagnosed with a lifelong illness, your own body feels out of your control. So having anxiety in relation to that, again, is a normal response to something that feels kind of not normal. Whenever things are out of our control, there is an element of trauma involved, or the impact of that will be there. So anxiety as a result of that will be the initial shock. But anxiety is actually a really common response. But again, if we don't understand that it's a normal response to what's going on, we're far more likely to become fearful of feeling that way. So again, I really want to normalise that as being a healthy response to an unhealthy situation. What I also think for Trevor is that when we go on to permanent medication, it's sort of in your face. It compounds the situation. So you may have thought you'd come to terms with something, but I think it opens it back up again. Now, in a way, Samantha and Trevor have got really, really different situations, but I suspect both of you are experiencing elements of what I would consider to be, I'm going to call it the trauma of normality, because we can be traumatized. I think we tend to think about trauma as sort of like a one-off big event, like being in a plane crash or a car crash or something like that. But actually, what I call the trauma of normality is when things happen in our lives that are out of our control, and we experience the emotional impact of trauma, but we don't identify it as trauma because it's an everyday part of life. But actually, emotionally, we're going to go through the experience of trauma, and if we don't recognise it, we may not actually engage in the appropriate kind of a process of care that we need and responsiveness in order to kind of set us back on an even keel. I'm nodding there. You're a people person, so you work with people all the time.
The first thing is the recognition, and then you can look for the route to managing.
Absolutely. And the recognition is huge, isn't it? I quite often use the analogy of children. I kind of say to people, if a child came into the room and they were having a problem, the first thing we want to do is to really validate their problem. We wouldn't dismiss them or tell them to go away or tell them how stupid they are because they're feeling that way. The first thing we would do is listen, and we'd validate and acknowledge their feelings before then helping them try and find ways of managing that and trying to find genuinely pragmatic solutions to help them kind of stabilise. So stabilising is, I'm going to say, the effect of acknowledging and recognising something, but with respect. Really, really important, because immediately that begins to stabilise. I mean, I think I'm sure you find that with people, that when we talk to somebody who's in a state of crisis, the moment we start to really listen without any form of judgment or criticism, you can see there's an element of relief that starts to come in. You can physically notice that their body will start to ease a little bit. They begin to, if we recognise they're having a normal response to something that's very, very challenging, that normality means, I'm not mad, I'm not completely bonkers, there's not something wrong with me because I'm feeling this way. So, hugely, hugely important. And going back to trauma, I think that recognition and deciding then to do something with that is also crucial. There's a really direct relationship between choice and recovery in trauma. If we recognise that any kind of trauma leaves us feeling helpless and frightened and as though everything is out of our control, a really key element of beginning to get back on an even keel, aside from the recognition and the acknowledgement and the validation, is actually to begin to look at areas where we can make choices. Because the moment we start to make choices, it doesn't matter how small they are, they can be small choices or big choices. The moment we begin to exert choice within our own lives, we're effectively starting to be in charge again. And I actually worked for many years with independently. I worked with patients who had HIV. And it's interesting, Trevor's talking about an illness. I don't know what that illness is. But again, I noticed with people that their most vulnerable moments were at the initial diagnosis and when they went on to long-term medication, because there's this sort of real validation, but it's a validation that you feel out of control and you're well out of your control. So by introducing the opportunity to recognise and create choice in your world, it's an area where we begin to start to feel in charge again.
Just Virginia, we've had some response for some of our listeners to say that they're recognising some of what you're talking about there, and that actually they hadn't thought of it in terms of trauma before.
That's actually really interesting, and thank you for the feedback, because I use that term, trauma of normality, and I think it's one of the most valid terms. I've been tempted to write a blog about it and haven't actually got around to it, so note to self, write a blog about trauma of normality, or at least do a new recording about it to put into the library, because I actually think everyday life has massive traumas in it, and I think most of us will experience those traumas. Even growing up, how many people have grown up having the most wonderful time? Life presents us with extraordinary challenges, and I can speak as a parent as well as obviously having been parented. Most of us will have grown up in families that did not have a great emotional vocabulary. It's not because our grown-ups were bad people or they wanted to give us a really rubbish time. They just weren't particularly well versed, and they probably grew up in a world where their grown-ups weren't very emotionally versed. It's pretty much emotional language and emotional intelligence. Our recognition of this is really relatively new, isn't it?
It's interesting. We've had another observation that's around terminology of emotional health, and does that make a topic less accessible for your blogs and the statements? And perhaps, just as we're moving on to this, more on the school curriculum, language and emotional health.
Absolutely. I mean, it's actually very interesting because I have been asked to speak the Women's Equality Party about exactly this, because their intention is to take a motion to Parliament to try and have emotional education put on the curriculum standard. And I think with a real recognition that without an emotional vocabulary, we can't talk about the way that we feel. We can't navigate life particularly well. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for the input. I think it is interesting. I mean, going back to the blog I wrote before as well, for me, I was so struck by the fact that a psychotherapist didn't know what I was talking about. Whereas, you know, for me, emotional health is an emotional language is just something that is really commonplace to me. So, I mean, when somebody in my profession wouldn't necessarily know what I'm talking about, you're absolutely right. I mean, again, hopefully creating this as a live event will bring that into the forefront and allow people to kind of recognise the importance of understanding their feelings and being able to talk about them and to develop that language. I think the one common denominator that I would say, and I must have sat with hundreds of people, literally, over the years, in 27 years, and I have no idea how many people I've seen in a year, but it's a lot. And do you know the one common denominator, quite genuinely, is that people don't know how to talk about the way they're feeling. And some people can't even identify individual emotions, let alone kind of work out whether what they're feeling is appropriate or normal or okay. So, yeah, I think it's very relevant that people don't understand. And in fact, actually today, driving up here, driving here in the car, I was listening to the radio and there was an interview with someone who I'm afraid I can't actually remember their name, but they were somebody who has been working with the princes, with William and Harry, to do with supporting people with mental health issues in running the London Marathon. It looked really interesting, sounded really interesting, but I found myself acutely aware that all of their language was about mental health, and yet in many ways they were talking about people who couldn't cope with the way that they were feeling. And I'm not saying that mental health wasn't an appropriate label or diagnosis in any way, shape or form, but I think what I'm saying is I think we need to extend it, because emotional health is not just underpinning the challenges that anyone with a mental health diagnosis would have. It's challenging real life stuff. You know, as I said, I think trauma is, I'd always go as far as saying I think we have a bit of an epidemic of trauma, because we're living in a very emotionally reactive world. You know, I mean, pick up any newspaper and people are reacting, you know, whether it's individually or on a more global scale. We are kind of seeing quite a lot of emotionally reactive behaviour, which I think is unsettling a lot of people. And again, you know, the more we're able to identify our feelings and develop a capacity to reflect on the way that we feel, you know, our responses become responses rather than reactions. There's a difference between a response and a reaction. And I mean, we all have the capacity to be reactive, but whenever we are reactive, it's generally emotionally driven, and it usually means that we don't have an ownership or any way of identifying what's driving us. So, you know, my view is the more we talk about this stuff, the better. And going back a moment to kind of recovery from trauma, if we start to reintroduce choice, which as we were talking about earlier, and that relationship between choice and recovery from trauma, when we start to reintroduce choice, that actually has a direct impact on our self-esteem. And I think I would say the biggest asset The biggest asset we have in terms of prevention rather than cure, in terms of any kind of emotional health issue, is actually to develop healthy self-esteem. If our self-esteem is healthy, when we have healthy self-esteem, we have emotional durability, we have resilience. If we don't have healthy self-esteem, then we are more likely to be fazed by things. If we are challenged or we face an awful situation, we're more likely to get involved in what I would call very self-critical thinking. So a bit like we talked about having a child come into the room, it would be the sort of, I'm so stupid, it's my fault, we can be full of self-doubt, I'm no good at this, I knew I shouldn't have done that, or all that kind of internal dialogue that is, I was going to say self-critical, but I want to go down the language of self-slaughter, because, for some people, they don't have an inner critic, they have an inner executioner.
That is a hopeless situation.
I think most people are quite critical. It's really funny, I did a public speaking course a while ago, which again, for anyone that's wanting to overcome any challenges around speaking, I recommend it. This chap called John Dawson. So again, we'll send that link out if we can, because his courses are not just for public speaking, they're for anyone who struggles with anxiety around speaking, including social anxiety. So a really good link. But I remember him saying, if we talk to our friends in the way that we speak to ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends. And I just thought it was a really, really good analogy, because we are really cruel to ourselves. And people, I think we bully ourselves incessantly. And all that does is that it reduces our self-esteem continually. So, even if we do something and we think we've done quite well, the moment we move into the inner slaughter, we're going to remove any benefit that we gained from any situation. And I think working with that inner dialogue is one of the biggest keys to creating changes in our lives, whether it's on an everyday basis, or whether it's in response to a traumatic event or a series of traumatic events, or the residue of a traumatic period in our lives that we've never really worked through. That inner dialogue is utterly crucial, because if you have an inner executioner, you're going to cause yourself to continually lower your self-esteem, and as long as your self-esteem is fragile, you will not feel emotionally durable. It becomes a really self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's very self-perpetuating. So again, there are really key tools, actually, just to step into sort of slightly pragmatic mode. There are really key tools that we can use. The first point of call always is to notice the inner dialogue. It's like to become an observer of ourselves, so that we stand back and I would even go as far as writing your dialogue down. And I ask people to try and shift from being a critic to a critique. It's a bit like looking at a painting. And I like that language. It's a language I like to use, because if you look at a painting, if you're an inner executioner, you might just decide your painting is rubbish and tear it all up and start all over again from a place of believing that you're never going to achieve it anyway. But, if we can shift that and we can look at something and think, right, okay, that's not quite how I'd like it to be, or indeed it's really not how I'd like it to be, but I'd like to change that, we can then begin to think about how we change it, because we're not slaughtering ourselves. And we can also, if our inner critic becomes a critique, at each step of change that we create, we kind of view it as an experiment rather than a goal that has to be won, or something where we've set ourselves up to succeed or to fail. So our attitude to success and failure comes in here. If we view everything in life as an experiment, so we try it, and if it doesn't work out, we then take on a position of the critique. So rather than being overloaded by failure, disappointment, which fuels that the inner slaughterer. We use it as a critique and a right, okay, that didn't work for me, so how might I do it differently? We kind of begin to move forwards and empower ourselves to consider again and to start thinking, what are my choices, for example? So we're bringing in choice again. And again, as I've already said, choice is really key to trauma in terms of counterbalancing it. But sort of like bringing in these different pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in ways that would enable us to actually begin to move something forwards, being kind to ourselves, listening to ourselves, acknowledging our feelings, giving ourselves permission to seek support and help, being supportive, trying out choices, not with a view of success and failure, but with an attitude of, will this work for me or won't it work for me? You know, and so I think for me these are really key elements of recovery. They're also key elements of actual emotional health. You know, this is a foundation of for life.
I think that point about foundation, Jenny, again, some comments about the link to self-esteem and how we enable young people in schools to have a language and an understanding of this, as well as a recognition from some listeners about the impact perhaps of the discussion about the princes today and their own managing of trauma.
Absolutely. I have to say I haven't listened enough to what they've been saying. I'd like to know more actually. So and again, if I come across any links, I'm happy to kind of email those out. I think it's what I was really incredibly pleased about was their ability to stand up and say, look, this is important stuff. And we really need to bring this into the public arena. And you know, my hat goes off to them big time. I mean, it's fantastic. So I think that's what we're really needing to follow their example. And the more that we can do things to support both their work, you know, and learn better, I think. Now, I'm kind of mindful of our time. And I think we've got about 10 minutes left.
We have indeed, yes.
In terms of asking for feedback, because this is our very first opportunity to open up this kind of conversation, it would be really helpful to know whether this feels about the right amount of time or whether it's too long, or because, you know, I think people have different levels of concentration. So in terms of feedback, that would be really helpful. I also just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about how we do continue to kind of bring this potentially to the fore. Most of the people who are listening in will have already been registered. I'll have an email list for you. Yes. But there may be people who are listening in who haven't been invited in that way, and we do want to make this a public event. So I wanted to just say that if anyone listens to the recording of this, that if you want to be kept ahead of future emotional awareness hours, the way that YouTube works, each event will be a separate live event in its own right. So this link is only relevant to this particular event and this particular recording. So the next one will have its own its own link. So if you register your email address either at jennyflorencehealth.com or with the A to Z of emotionalhealth.com library, and again also follow Facebook and the Facebook and Twitter, that's also can be done. But if you register at either of those email addresses, we won't inundate you with emails. In fact, I guarantee I won't inundate you with emails because I'm not good at inundating anybody with emails. I've been told I should email people more often, and I don't. But I actually don't like being inundated by email myself, so I am very reluctant to do so myself. Because I reach a point where I get so many from some people that I actually end up not reading any of them. So you won't get very many from me, but the ones you do get will actually have some information. So there will be a follow-up one after this event with any links that you might want to connect to. And likewise, if you're on that email list, we will notify you ahead of the next one, just a couple of days, and send you a link so that you know when and where to log in. So just to put that information out there, so that if you are watching this as a recording, that's then available for you as well. Do you have any thoughts at this stage, Liv? We're kind of starting to kind of wrap up a bit, and are there any, I mean, we've sort of slightly ventured into the territory of trauma, but haven't talked a little bit about some of the skills needed to move through it, but I'm wondering if we've done enough, or if anybody else has anything they want to raise at this point before we start to wrap up.
We've had a couple of observations from people that the time seems to have flown, and okay. That's been very good. And actually, I have the advantage of seeing the thread of the chat, which obviously you don't at the moment. No other specific questions in terms of information. We're going to continue with this hour. A request that we have a share link for the video that appears to be active. But I guess some technical things. What we can also do, I think, is we can take from the live chat any other questions or recommendations that people might have, and feed those into future events.
Right. I have no idea how we share things, but that is because I'm not, as anyone that actually knows me, IT is not my strong point, but actually I will go away and find out is the answer to that. So, and thank you for monitoring that, because it would be really useful. What my understanding is that the link from this event will remain the same regardless, which means that when we put the recording onto the A to Z, into the A to Z library and via YouTube, if you've kept this link, you will be able to share it with anybody, and that it will take them immediately to the recording. But obviously, without it ahead of the game, they can't join in live. So we need to be mindful of how we do that. Thank you for that. That's brilliant and really helpful.
Yeah. And again, some reaction to say a very good pilot as an introduction, all of which everyone else will be able to see from here, of course. So, I think we've answered or acknowledged all of the requests on here for today.
Okay. I probably, just as I'm wrapping up, Liv, maybe would just say a little bit more about the A to Z library, because it was originally a membership site and it's going to become a free public resource. But actually, in terms of different ways of approaching trauma, anxiety, all aspects of emotional health, there are some really useful tools in the library. There are meditations that are designed specifically to help let go and release emotional tension in the body. Because we carry our emotions in our physical body, and we carry trauma in our physical body. And if we think about PTSD, the way that resurfaces, post-traumatic stress disorder, the way that resurfaces is through an emotional response. So there are quite a lot of resources in the library. There's also some tapping audios there that people can access. So really just to, if say somebody is listening to this, or they're listening to the recording of this, and they're thinking, well actually I'd like more information or more pragmatic help, within the library there are definitive tools that you can access and use. We wouldn't be able to put them into this event because they take up too much time, and they're about 25, the meditations are about 25 minutes long. But they are available and they will be there to listen to once the library goes live. So really just to acknowledge that there are further resources.
And indeed we've mentioned a number of things as we've progressed. So some of the resources that you've mentioned in the quotes and the courses, we can provide links to that information as well.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're going to wrap up. Maybe we should finish with a quote. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm noticing you looking, Liv. Is there anything else we need to be responding to?
I think other than people's reactions and this is proved helpful, and some thanks, I think we'll move on to your quote, Jenny.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. I'm just looking because I have several here that are really good. But Okay, I'm just going to read this because I think most people who would listen into this probably would come under the bracket of being a sensitive person, because it's sensitive people that actually are in touch with their emotions and actually care enough to do something about them. I think this is a lovely quote. It says, highly sensitive people are too often perceived as weaklings or damaged goods. To feel intensely is not a symptom of weakness. It is the trademark of the truly alive and compassionate. It is not the empath who is broken. It is society that has become dysfunctional and emotionally disabled. There is no shame in expressing your authentic feelings. Those who are at times, excuse me, I need to get my other piece of paper. Those who are at times described as being a hot mess or having too many issues are the very fabric of what keeps the dream alive for a more caring, humane world. A lovely quote, isn't it? By Anton St. Martin. So thank you, Anton St. Martin. And I guess we'll close with that. And thank you all very, very much indeed for listening. And take care. Bye-bye.